Everybody, it is Dr. Suzi Schulman, and it is Thanksgiving week, and I am so unbelievably grateful to be here. Today I have an amazing topic to talk about. We're going to talk about stress. Stress is a big one, especially this week. We're all under it, right? Well, I got to tell you what. Stress is the number one killer in the world. Why do I say that? Because stress is behind every major disease that you could possibly imagine. Stress is something that we have going on in our lives all the time. But what we have in our bodies is called the stress response. And what everybody doesn't know is that response is what we can control. The response is manageable. But the response is huge. And I want you to know what's involved with it and what you're risking when you don't learn to shut down the stress, when you don't learn to get off the roller coaster, or stop the world I want to get off feeling. How many of you have that? Because I've lived that for a long time. I don't do that anymore. I've effectively learned to stop the world, and I'm going to tell you how today. We're going to start by talking about the three most devastating effects in the body when you're under chronic stress. You have to understand this so that you know how to shut it down. Now, let's talk about turning on stress. Stress is a great thing that we can turn on by doing something healthy, like going for a run. Now, think about what happens in our body when we go for a run. The first thing that happens is our heart rate and our blood pressure increase. Why is that? We need all of our blood to go out to our extremities, to our legs, to our arms, so that we can pump, so that we can run. Okay, so the heart has to work a little harder in order to get that out. That's why the blood pressure increases. That's why the heart rate increases. Also, our blood sugar increases. That's the number two that happens when we're under stress or we go for a run. Okay, again, good stress, bad stress, it doesn't matter. Stress is stress. So our blood sugar increases. Why does that happen? Because we need sugar for energy. So all of the blood sugar is released into our bloodstream as much as possible, as much as available, so that the body can use those resources to exercise and to have an effective run. What's the next thing that happens? Our cholesterol. What do you think happens with our cholesterol? This is pretty fascinating. Does it go up or down? Most people would say down. No, the answer is up. Our cholesterol actually raises when we're under stress. And why is that? This is one of the most fascinating things in the entire universe. Our cholesterol rises because it's responsible for, number one, mood regulation. Okay, so anybody who's on long-term cholesterol medication, you probably know that you've had some mood issues, some anxiety, some depression. That's actually a direct result of lowering cholesterol. So cholesterol, when we exercise and when we're under stress or we're going for that run, increases. Number one, for mood regulation, it's important under those circumstances. And number two, for wound protection, for clotting. We need cholesterol to do that for us, because when we're under stress, if we injure ourselves, if we're in a fight, if we engage, fight or flight, okay, that's stress. If we're in any of those situations, our cholesterol rises to protect us in case we do have any kind of injury, so we can respond very quickly. So the three things that we learned that happen when we're under stress or we're going on a run or exercise or activity is heart rate and blood pressure increase, blood sugar increases, and cholesterol increases. Those are all direct responses for the body to adapt to what's going on in the environment. That is the stress response in the body. And those are only the top three things that happen. Now, the problem is that most of us are under what we call chronic stress. We never shut it down. So if we don't shut it down and we're walking around and we've got our heart rate and our blood pressure chronically increased, our blood sugar chronically increased, our cholesterol chronically increased, we're sick and we're running around trying to lower all these things with different possibilities, different medications. These are all a direct result of being under stress and not knowing how to shut that down. This is completely and totally in your control. What's not in your control is the amount of stress that you're going to encounter in your life. It's out there. What is under your control is once you realize what it's doing in your body, once you learn the 3 things that I just went over, you're going to understand how critically important it is, because again, every disease that we can think of, that we can imagine, the precursors are set right here. Diabetes, blood pressure. We can go into decreased immunity. That happens when we're under chronic stress. Our growth hormone tanks when we're under chronic stress. We cannot be creative. We have ADD-like symptoms when we're under chronic stress. So all of these things are happening in our lives, and the precursor is the stress. I'm here to tell you, you need to learn to shut it down. And you need to do it quickly, especially at holiday time, because it's right here, and we're grateful and we're happy and we're so unbelievably blessed. But we got to take time to shut it down and realize that. This week, I'm going to spend a lot of time telling you how to do that. So I'll be here again tomorrow live, 8:30 a.m. Wednesday, we're going to be here live, and we're going to talk about ways to get this stress thing under control so you can get through these holidays in the best health and the best mindset, feeling greater than you've ever felt. Thank you for being here. Let me know that you were here. Give me some #love, and I will talk to you tomorrow.